Okay, so this is our latest overlanding build concept, and I've always kind of been um, I don't know, not the biggest fan, let's put it that way, of overlanding trailers, primarily because they're not great on the trail. They're not great on forest roads. If you run into a gate and have to turn around, any kind of maneuvering sometimes can be difficult. But um, this concept, which we're temporarily calling the Owyhee trailer, in honor of a recent camping trip I did in the Owyhee Canyonlands with my brother. Um, I think has a place. I know it's a crowded space. Overlanding trailers are, and they tend to either fall into things that are really designed exclusively for sleeping, with an outdoor kitchen tacked on, or they are very bare bones and are just kind of a outdoor kitchen, gear carrying, rooftop tent holding trailer thing. This is totally different. This is actually a space that you can actually hang out in, but will also go off road. Um, and I think that's really important. When on this camping trip, my brother and I, we used his 1966 VW camper bus for staying warm, staying dry. He has a wood burning stove inside. It was great. It was great for hanging, but it was cramped. I mean, I mean, not the most comfortable experience, but it was great, and it would have been a really different camping trip without it. But then he drove we actually wheeled with him in his bus, and I wheeled in my FJ, and the wheeling was great, and we had a lot of fun. The trails were great, but then we came back and we kind of used his bus as a base camp, and I was thinking, but he also had a pickup truck with a trailer for that VW bus, and we kind of used that as our base camp to hold our spot. It would have been nice to have something like this to hold a spot as well. So I'm not always going to be able to do things with my brother, and I think there's a place for this. So it would certainly kind of, for winter or cold weather or any time camping in a place where you know it's going to rain, something like this just to get out of the weather would be really nice and really comfortable place to spend an evening. So so basically, it's a welded steel frame, nothing fancy, probably 2-inch steel tube welded as the base, and then bolted to that will be a welded aluminum kind of cage or structural frame. And then attached to that, we'll be putting aluminum skin on the outside and probably 1/4-inch Baltic birch with Landau foam and fabric wrap panels on the inside. And then, of course, insulated. And then we're going to use this special zip system insulated flooring, foam insulated flooring panels on top of sort of our foundation plywood, and then a vinyl plank, probably floorette, vinyl plank, floating vinyl plank floor, finished floor on top of that. So there'll be some furniture on the inside. There'll be 2 benches that fold out to make a bed, a full-size bed. There'll be a little galley. There'll be a ice-co fridge, portable ice-co fridge that can be pulled out if needed. Power station, not sure which one, something reasonably powerful. On the outside, 2 jerry cans, at least 2, maybe 3, but at least 2. 20-pound propane bottle holder, the cap for the chimney, for the Dickinson propane furnace, which is a marine product. It's a great product, and it's certainly enough to heat up this space. It's not very big. This chimney that you see here is temporary. The actual chimney cap is kind of like a mushroom thing that can go on a 45-degree angle. So that'll just attach to this sloped part of the roof. And we'll just put it there. And then the chimney will just go straight up to it. So it's not going to look like this. There is a door right here, which is the access door to the outdoor kitchen drawer. So we pull that out, and there's a work surface, and we flip that open, which I'll show a little bit later. And the propane stove can be pulled out. And then that propane stove can be used over here on this Rig Supply Ultra Table, which is kind of custom mount to their Ramble rack, which will be mounted to a Ramble swing, which can swing out of the way. And that just mounts to an offset hitch, which will have welded to the steel frame. Yeah, so that's, and then there'll be a modular roof rack, kind of like a Sherpa type product. Looking at Sherpa for inspiration here. And then kind of like what I have on my FJ, just a little bit wider and a little shorter, a little wider. And then provision for 3 solar panels, Bouge RV, 100 watts each, so 300 watts total. And then there'll also be an attic fan up there. And I think that's it for the roof. So we don't want to load up the roof too much. So, and again, all the framing for this is aluminum. The outside skin is aluminum. We're trying to keep the weight. My goal is to keep the weight of this all up, including full water, the over 50-gallon water tank, by the way, including full water tanks, fuel, etc., to less than 2,000 pounds. Yeah, it's going to be tricky. But the idea is I'd like to have something I can actually tow behind my FJ. So I don't want it to be too heavy. And then I'm going to use axle-less suspension on the wheels. That will help make a nice smooth ride. And I won't have to worry about an axle spanning the width of the trailer and catching on anything. So I get a little bit more increased ground clearance with that, which is super nice. But my goal is to try and keep the overall height of this thing as low as possible. Just minimize wind resistance as much as I can. So, and my goal is to have like the flow of air off the vehicle to kind of like go across the top of this thing if it works that way. There will be no wind tunnel testing, trust me. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so yeah, so now we've opened the awning. So now this is I think it's a hammock cross swing, I think it's called. Really good really good awning. Doesn't require legs or any kind of guy lines or anything like that. So let's go to the next. All right, now this is just kind of showing the trailer without walls. So the walls are gone. You can see the aluminum framing of the cage, calling it a cage. And you can start to see some of the furniture on the inside. There's a closet here that has a couple drawers. One drawer is for the outdoor kitchen with the cook stove. One is this one, which it's just a storage drawer. Open, close, nothing fancy. And then a closet above. Now, all of this might change. It's just a box that has the capability of being a lot of different things. Like it can be customized. It could be pretty much anything. It could be all drawers if you wanted to make it all drawers. But you're always in need of storage in something like this. So anyway, that's a place to store stuff. If you have bedding, you can store bedding in there. Perfect place to do it. And it has a kind of a flat top, so you can put stuff up there too. In this lower piece of furniture, which I'm calling the porta potty garage, is where the wrap-on toilet is going to go. And if you've ever seen a wrap-on toilet, they're amazing. And it's absolutely the best kind of RV toilet you can think of. Super great. And that has a lid that just flips up like so. And then I'll show the benches, how the benches work. But then there's also this table back here, which is designed to drop down, and then the leg of it is hinged, so the leg actually provides the support for this table. And then behind that's a little bit of storage. Maybe you want to put some booze back there, or wine bottles or whatever. And then on the wall here is where the Dickinson's going to go. Now the Dickinson doesn't look like that, but that's indicative of what that's going to be. All right, let's move to the next one. Okay, not sure what we've actually done to change this, but it doesn't look like all that much, so let's skip to the next one. Okay, so now I've taken the roof off. The roof is gone, and now you can really just see the cage. It's a really good example of that. While I'm waiting for my computer to update, I've had this problem with SketchUp and my particular PC, which doesn't have enough graphic processing power to actually really do SketchUp in any kind of meaningful way. So let's put this table up, get that out of the way. By the way, this is the power station, fits right in that little niche. I am thinking about a sink on the inside just to make dishes easier. And again, 15-gallon fresh water. It'll have a 3-gallon per minute pump, so decent amount of pressurized water. I could probably go with a larger tank, maybe. Might even try and go for 20. We'll see. I know for a fact 15 will fit. All right, so let's go to the next one. Oh, I'm going to go back. Oh, see, this is the beauty of SketchUp. I can't get to my buttons, so I'm not going to be able to show you. Let's go back. Not going to be able to show you. So, I can do this. All right, this is what we're going to do. So, fold this down, and fold that out. All right, so basically the way these bench beds are going to work, they're two identical pieces of furniture. You basically lift up on the front, slide it out. The back is hinged to the base, and it moves with it, and then it sits down on the fixed part of the frame. The cushion that forms the back then just gets pulled off, and it fits in and fills the resulting gap. It's that simple. And then the two pieces of furniture meet in the very middle of the trailer to form a full-size bed. That's pretty much it. Here's the fridge. There's a pantry that's behind the table. Again, here's the table. You can see it going down. And this is a storage pantry for all the things you need for cooking and whatnot. That goes in there, dry goods. Here's the water tank down here. Flip around to the other side, you can see the sink. I think the water fill and drain will be on this side. So, not sure what side that is, but on that side. And then the water fill will just have a hose that'll run over to the top of the tank, and then the drain will be part of the pump system. So the pump will actually drain the tank. So it's not gravity. It's the pump that does the draining. And then again, we've got our furniture, same furniture over here. And I think you can see it. Let's get the table up. Again, my apologies for the delay. If I had the graphics processor, all of this would be super smooth and really nice. But it's a reasonably large model. It's not a super big model, but it's a reasonably large model. And that's causing some of the problems. Oh, and by the way, this space in the front, it's not fully modeled or detailed yet, but it's going to be a storage bin for things like firewood, camp chairs, stuff like that. That can all fit in here. And I'll probably put 1 or 2 doors maybe 2 doors, one on each side, just so I can access it from either side. And those doors will be on this angle portion. And then, of course, the spare tires will be mounted to the front of that. Yeah. Oh, and access ladder to get up to the roof to service the solar panels or anything up on the roof. Yeah. I'm not sure about the detail of the roof. I might put a drip rail around the perimeter. Probably. Not sure. We'll see. Okay. Next one. And the walls are back magically. So this is kind of the finished look with the windows. Now the windows are also a big question mark for me because I'm not sure. I don't want typical rounded corner RV windows. I want square corner. And for that, I think I have to go frameless. So I still have a tremendous amount of research to do on the windows. But what I know I want is the awning type that opens, and you can do that with frameless really easily. So there's a top portion which is fixed, the bottom portion is operable, and they're really nice. They require a little bit of servicing, but they're really nice. A little bit more expensive than a conventional framed window, but I think it's worth it. All right, let's go to the last scene. Okay, so I didn't show this. Let's see if I can show this. So we're gonna pop this is it's the drawer that holds the camp stove. The top swings open, and boom. It's just another easy way to get access to that, so you can do outdoor cooking out the back. Part of the reason why this awning is here, not only to protect the door if it's raining, but also to provide a kind of a sheltered space for cooking outside. You could cook inside in a pinch. You could set an induction cooktop up on the table and do that if you wanted to. If it was really bad, but I much prefer cooking outside. Much prefer it. But I also much prefer doing dishes inside. Doing dishes outside is a pain. So that's what we're gonna do. And oh, by the way, here's that table, and here's the mountain bike over here. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much.